Hello, friends. Hi. My name is Dom Zook. You may know me from many things here on Saving Throw. Hi, Shimmickson. Hi, Artemis. Hi, DJ Regular. GED Audio. Welcome. Hi. Uh, how's it going? I'm curious as to how far these captions are going to go up the screen. They're probably going to cover me in a minute now if I just keep talking, and then it's just a caption show, really, is what it is. Uh, yeah, we don't need it. We don't need it that high. Let's play with this a little bit. Boop 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 boop. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Hey, Bondo. Welcome. Yeah, I'll let people kind of come in here for a minute and kind of get settled. I see it looks like we're cruising now, both on Twitch and YouTube. So that's great. I'm 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 excited to have you all here and talk to you and finally talk to you about this thing that I'm very excited about. And just sort of let you know what's going on. But I'm just going to give a couple more minutes and just say hello to everybody as you come in, so that we can just have a nice little chit chat here with y'all. Um, what's new? How's your summer? What's going on in the world? You know, I'm here. I'm in Seattle now, and it's very warm up here because I have no air conditioning aside from what you see there, which is not on right now because it's quite loud. So I just have a fan kind of pointed at my butt, and that's what's keeping me cool. So this stream may not be very long, but I wanted to have sort of a live conversation with you so I can answer questions and have sort of a Q&A, and let you know so everything is hunky dory. Um, yeah, Shimmickson. Yeah, it's not hot in Seattle. I will say that it is probably upper 70s maybe, which is very nice. Seattle. The thing with Seattle is it's a deceptive heat because of the humidity. It's not like East Coast humidity, I will say that. But the humidity being on the water, it makes it colder in the winter and hotter in the summer, but very temperate at night in the summer, and very very pleasant otherwise. So yeah, no, I know. Yeah, hi, hi, Wes. Yeah, I know everybody in California or Texas or whatever is just going to be like, oh my God, 70, no. Yeah. No, I lived it. I know. But trust me, a lot of people come here from those places and they're just all like, oh, it's 79. Yeah, I'm just gonna, that's cold. And then they come here and they're like, oh wow, it is actually really warm. It's a lot hotter. There you go. It's 81 degrees in Seattle right now. So not even upper 70s. We're low 80s right now. Still, it's great. If I was outside, perfect. But inside, where there's no insulation and no air conditioning, it is not a blast. So, but anyway, that's me. How's everybody else doing? I'll wait for you to respond. Hey, guess I'm salad. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it isn't the heat. It's the humidity. It really is. The winter is the really really crazy thing because it will be like, and I forgot this after I moved away from Seattle. I forgot that this happened, but the winter you think it's going to be pretty temperate, and it usually is. It's usually in the mid to upper 40s, maybe low 50s sometimes, and it's that on paper that looks fine. That looks like winter, but actually the humidity makes the air cooler So it actually feels much colder than that. And when you have the wind blowing, it just kind of creates this big old wind chill, and it makes things just a lot more, um, feel a lot colder. So, I was living in Salt Lake before this, which gets very cold, and snows and, all of that stuff. But that was just a dry cold. So, you kind of were expecting that, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's, 30 degrees or whatever. I get it. And then we moved here, and we're like, it's 45. It's going to be fine. And it's actually super, super chilly at that time. So, yeah. Um, Oh yeah, DJ Regular. No, you get it. Yeah, I'm on the second floor of our place here, and yeah, and it's an old house. It's an old house. It's almost 100 years old. Um, and there you go. Um, Hi Angst on YouTube. Yeah, no, this is real. This is real. Yeah, this is real and new. Yeah. Wet cold is the worst, Dragon Feathers. Yeah, you said it. All right. Uh let's yeah, this is AI me. It's, I've got an extra fingers and all these things. Um so yeah, let me just again welcome you all to Saving Throw. I hope that this will be one of many more um, regular things that you see. But yeah, just announcement time. So I am working on a new project with Saving Throw, and that project is called. Oh, this is going to be. Wait, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can do this without. Yeah, it's just going to cover my head. Maybe I'll do it over here. It's still going to cover my head. Okay, I'm doing it anyway. That new project is called. Okay, let me do this. There we go. Hellbent. Hellbent is a new Savage Worlds show. You know that I love me some Savage Worlds, and that's what it is. So, yeah, I'm very excited about this. So, Hellbent is a tale set in the Weird West. However, we are not using Deadlands. We are using a story and lore and stuff of my own design, and the design of the GM, the Marshal, who I will announce shortly here, but I'm very excited about that too. Um, yeah. So Hellbent takes us to 1879 in America that is not our own, but it has got some similarities. There are things in that world that are that you would recognize from the Wild West. However, there are some big changes. There are factions in America. One of them is the Cahokia Confederacy, which is actually a Native American confederacy that actually has control of most of the Midwest of the country. Which means that there has been no westward expansion and no colonialism and no Trail of Tears and some other things. So it has created sort of a, I like to liken it to it's indigenous futurism. So it's kind of like Wakanda for Native Americans. So it's really cool in that it's, life has continued on there. And then obviously the U.S. is split between North and South. However, Civil War is over, and just other things have sort of been perpetuating. Yeah, the Cahokia Mounds are awesome. Cahokia is a real place. It's a real thing. There was not a Cahokia Confederacy, but Cahokia is a real thing. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But thanks, John Doom. Thanks. I was waiting to start until you were here, and yeah, clearly that's what was happening. Hey, Black Dragon 8K, how's it going? And Angst, you made it over here to Twitch. Welcome. And hi everybody on YouTube too. Hello. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's kind of a lot going on. This is not Deadlands, like I said, so there's no Ghost Rock. However, there is magic, and magic has been reintroduced into the world and has created a bunch of wild things. It corrupts. The magic in this world is a corrupting influence, and it gradually corrupts anybody who wields it and uses it. And unfortunately, you know, Americans are fond of taking new things and using them to death, and this is quite literally the case in the world of Hellbent. And so, yeah, magic is kind of taking over for everything from like Ghost Rock and stuff like that. So magic is fueling new inventions, new weapons, all sorts of things, and it's creating sort of an unstable political climate, but also it's creating really cool things. So, you know, sometimes those things are really neat, but sometimes the stuff behind really neat things is bad. Hey, Diana Moon. Hey, yeah, watch the VOD. Miss you. I'm glad that you're going to be able to watch it later. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the story of Hellbent a little bit. There's way more to go into there, and I hope to be, you know, releasing more information as the project continues. I did want to announce, so I'm not the only one behind this. We have a bunch of other people who are working on this show here. This is going to be an in-person show. It will be people around a table. And I can't do a Zoom show anymore. But yeah, really the last, like, really 3 years or so since, I mean, with the last show we did was the Pathfinder for Savage Worlds, and that was early 2023, I think. So that was really the last show that we did on the channel. And even before that started, I had been kind of germinating on this idea of, you know, what can I do in the Weird West, and using Savage Worlds, which I love so much. And I had been working on this story and dissecting it and putting things together. And yeah, it kind of just started building from there. And yeah, I just, you know, kind of wanted to put everything together, but it just, I was not in a stable place to be creating anything at that time. So when we moved to Seattle, I knew that I had a lot of friends here from way back when I lived here and was making movies up here and things before I moved to LA and started saving through and all of that stuff. But I knew that I had some resources here that I never had in LA, that I never had anywhere else, and so I was like, oh well, maybe we could do something here. And so yeah, I have connected with a few people up here to kind of make this thing a reality, and it's going. It's going. We've been having production meetings and getting things started, but it's really only in the last couple of weeks that things have really started picking up. And one of the exciting things is that while I have kind of created the backstory for Hellbent, really the rest of the tale will be told by the GM and the players. And we are casting currently for the table. And they will all be Seattle locals, and so we are working on that. But I will hopefully have more information on that soon. But we do have a GM, and I'm very, very pleased and excited to announce that our GM is Jasmine Bhullar, aka That Bronze Girl, aka so many characters and GM slots on Critical Role, on Dimension 20, on DesiQuest. Yeah, you know them, you've seen them, you love them. I am am super stoked. They're a big fan of Savage Worlds, and this sort of story that we're going for. And yeah, I am beside myself about it all. So I'm very, very excited to welcome Jasmine on board. So yeah, we're kind of going through this, and there's a bit of a a pressure crunch to get things going. Just timing wise, it just makes sense to have things kind of going quickly and soon. So yeah, there's a little bit of that that's crazing a lot of different things, and so a lot of things are going to happen very quickly over the next month or so. But yeah, so that's one exciting bit. But we are trying to do this the right way. And you will start seeing, press releases and notifications and hopefully a bunch of other things that will be sort of tied into this. I want to talk about the production a little bit, because that's really John Doom using Savage Worlds. Yes, we are using Savage Worlds. We're using a lot of Deadlands rules stuff, but we're not using any of the Deadlands lore. So none of that. No Reckoners, no Ghost Rock, nothing specifically Deadlands. But we are, there will probably be Hex Slingers and Hucksters and things like that. But they may be called something else. But it's the mechanics are pretty much the same. So show itself. This is hey JP, how's it going? Yes, yeah, this is the live lands. You've made it. Yes, so the show itself is going to be a bit of a departure from how Saving Throw has done shows in the past, but honestly, it will look very similar to everything that we've done as well. So this is going to be, like I said, it's going to be done in person. It is going to be recorded. However, the intention is we will have a live, basically a live taping for backers. So I will talk more about backers in a minute, but it will be recorded. It will then be edited and cut down. So gone are the 4 to 5 hour long streams. Say hello to closer to 60 to 90 minute long episodes. The first season will be maybe 10 episodes, maybe a little less. And we are going to be editing that stuff, and it will also be edited for podcast. So it's going to be built for for consumption after the fact. So unlike our other shows where I didn't bother to cut anything, and you were watching the whole thing and you were seeing things coming in that you had nothing to do with, and it would frustrate you, especially if you were on YouTube watching that. Shout out to the real ones who are watching on YouTube. That I understand that was a really hard thing to try and get through, and so this show is the design is to make it so that it's really, really easy to watch and get into. Honestly, my hope is that people who are not into RPGs will be into this show. So what I'm really trying to do is make a show that people who are fans of Westerns, people who are fans of the Weird West in general, who are fans of horror and hauntings and cowboys and things like that, will be their interest will be piqued. And my hope is to make it a story that you can tune into and know what's going on, and one that you don't have to know how an RPG is played. You don't have to know all the terminology. So, hey, BSB Care, how's it going? Thanks, Wes. We'll see you around. Thanks for dropping in. Um, yes. So a lot of I feel like a lot of actual plays have a learning curve for people who are not into them, who are not into RPGs, rather. Um, and honestly, it's as simple as like if you don't know Dungeons and Dragons and you pop into an actual play stream and somebody's going like, I'm a paladin, I'm going to cast smite and I'm going to, roll the d20, and I'm like, immediately you are lost. What's a paladin? What does smite mean? What does casting smite mean? What does rolling a d20 mean? What is a d20? These I have talked with so many people who are not into RPGs, and one of the biggest hurdles is terminology. Um, John Dumas, will it be on a Carolina game table, streamer table? No, alas, that streaming table is not in my possession anymore, alas. But I think we'll have something pretty cool. Working on it. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But yeah, terminology is a big thing. I don't know who owns the table, JP. The DAT crew, Dragons and Things, they initially bought it from me, but I believe they sold it to somebody else. So I don't think they have it anymore, and I don't know where it is. Yeah. So, terminology. These shows will be edited, not just for time, but we're also going to add a lot of pop-ups. So you saw this in the Pathfinder for Savage Worlds videos, a lot of pop-ups explaining what was happening, basically, why things were being chosen, what these words mean, what all of this stuff does. I really want to be basically beginner friendly. We're tangentially teaching Savage Worlds, but we're not actively teaching it. It's more of an implied an implied skill there. But the hope is that people can watch it and go like, oh, okay, I get it. I see what's going on, because there will be helpful things throughout. The podcast obviously is not going to have that stuff, but usually people who are listening to a podcast actual play are people who are already into that type of thing. My hope is to eventually get to a point where we can do like kind of confessionals almost in a way, like a reality show does, where people can explain, oh yeah, the GM asked me to do this one thing, and so I chose this edge and I did this thing and etc., and that made this happen. Hopefully people can explain it, maybe have a talk back show and stuff like that, and talk about how these things came about and how it worked. But yeah, totally back to our roots. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to achieve with this. Basically, that in addition to having recaps before every episode, so you can quickly get in. You don't have to have watched, 400 hours. I was re-editing the Wildcards Carnival episodes and for podcast, and because we had never done that before. I don't think we had never released them as podcasts. So I've been re-editing them and rewatching, and we did a lot of these things in that last season of Wildcards. We limited when toasts came in and all of that stuff, but we still had them. But a lot of these ideas were sort of early ideas there. Hey, Bobby on YouTube, how's it going? Nice to see you. So yeah, that's a lot of it. I want to do recaps. I want to do sort of a story so far on our website, so you can just kind of read and have just be able to follow it and kind of catch up that way. So it's kind of like a Wikipedia. But yeah, with Wildcards, we had, the first season, even ETU, we had I don't know, a lot of of material. I mean, that first Deadlands season, that was 5 seasons uh, of episodes that were average 4 hours long, and seasons were a lot of episodes. So we're talking probably hundreds of hours of material. And while we did have some recaps before seasons, we didn't have episode recaps. So it was a lot to try to jump in there and catch up, especially if you had missed the previous week or anything like that. You weren't going to get any recap. And so that's something that I really want to focus on with this new show is um, is to do that. So yeah. So recaps, stories so far. Those are two big concepts that I'm going to be bringing into this show. That additionally with the pop-ups to hopefully explain terms and rules and all those other things will hopefully make it a little bit more accessible to folks and get more people sort of interested, because I feel part of me feels like actual plays we're playing to a limited audience of people who are already into that. Not only are they already into RPGs, but they are into actual plays. And then you're also, trying to build beyond that is really difficult. But the stories that are being told, I feel, are universal stories. And there's no reason why they can't be brought in, but with there's no reason why people can't be brought in to those stories through the method of an actual play. To me, it's very theatrical. It's like watching a play where you don't know what's going to happen next, and neither do the players or the writers. Basically, the players are the writers in this. So you really get kind of a really fresh way of looking at things. So I've been very passionate about finding that core, and hopefully with this show, with Hellbent, I'll be able to do that. Yes, Juvenile, yes. That bronze girl is DMing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, since the Hyper RPG days. Yeah, she's OG. Yeah. So there's that. Let me see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yep. We're going to have good representation in the cast, I think. I am not playing. I am strictly producing for this, and I honestly I couldn't be more excited to sit back and watch. I mean, initially I was like, oh, I want to play, but then the more I was building this story in this world, I was like, no, I want to see what happens. I want to be behind it all and let that happen. So yeah, editing is going to be a big deal. Currently, I have really high hopes that this is going to be this is going to grow and get bigger and bigger, and we're going to be able to do more things. But we've got to start somewhere, and that's sort of I'm kind of launching the show today, basically. A few kind folks have joined me on previous streams where I let you all know that I have launched a new sustaining backer model thing called Fourth Wall. If you type !FW in chat, only on Twitch, sorry YouTube, can't do it there, but on Twitch, if you type FW, you can get a link to the Exploration Society Outpost. There you can buy, there's a bunch of merch. We have a bunch of ETU merch, if you were a fan of Wildcards ETU, but also Saving Throw merch, and eventually there will be some Hellbent merch, I'm sure. But also, that's where you can donate. You can do one-time donations there. You can also subscribe and become a backing member, basically a founding member of the Exploration Society, and help support the show and make Hellbent a possibility. Honestly, right now, the way this is going to work, we are bare bonesing it right now. This is going to be people around a table in a black box, essentially. However, we have high hopes. We are working with one of the creative producers from Dimension 20 to really bring some life to this. However, again, that life costs money, and it will probably not be in the first season. It's probably going to be a second season type thing, only if we hit our budget numbers. So if you go through our fourth wall, you can kind of see what we're going for. So what we're initially trying to raise is $6,500. That's honestly the base level. That pays cast and crew and gets us a space to shoot in, and we can have some equipment. So most of my equipment was sold off. COVID really killed everything with saving throw. So a lot of the equipment that I had is gone. So we're sort of starting from scratch. While part of this whole plan of shooting this and just recording rather than doing an ongoing live show is that we don't need an ongoing studio and have to pay rent and all of that stuff and deal with sort of ongoing expenses and stuff. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Thank you, Guess I'm Salad. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, there's the Legion of Dom. So there's some cool things. If you become a sustaining backer, there's some cool things that you can be a part of, basically, with this show. So there's going to be sort of a you'll know in the past on Saving Throw, our shows typically had tiers that you could donate towards and unlock things in the game. I'm stepping that back a little bit. So because it's not going to be a live show, it's hard to do like, hey, let's build this up to, $500 and we unlock all these things that happen, the mystery box unlocks and all of those things. That stuff is not going to be there. However, sustaining backers can add banes and boons to the show, which can be drawn. And we're also going to be working on basically factions that you can join, essentially, as backers that you can build. I don't know if you remember Sean's Dark Sun campaign way back when, almost at the start, but that had a lot of fan interaction building the world of Dark Sun. And something very similar to that is going to be done with Hellbent. But a lot of this stuff, you should remember it, JP. But a lot of stuff is going to be predicated on what Jasmine decides to do with the story and where she wants to take the story. But there's going to be a lot of interaction that way, kind of building things that are going to affect the story, but not in I'm sending a heal to the players, or I'm sending an extra Benny or something like that. That sort of stuff is going to be tamped down a little bit. Yes, yeah. Cast has not been announced, Bobby. We are doing casting actually this weekend. And we may have to do another round of casting, but yeah, I'm very excited. We've got a good amount of people coming out this weekend. So yeah, I'm excited, and hopefully we'll be able to announce cast very soon. But other than that, no cast news. DJ Regular, thank you, coming in with that Scout tier membership. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Really, it really does. It all builds up and goes. BSB Care, thank you so much. Voyager tier, that's awesome. That's, you guys are growing this. We are already about 20% of the way to our goal of $6,500. $6,500, like I said, gets us a space. It gets us a cast and crew. It gets us a little bit of equipment rental that we can kind of put this whole thing together and get it created for you. What it does not include is doesn't include editors. So that means I'm editing it. Which is never a good thing. I've always said this, but you you get what you pay for. With this stuff. So it doesn't get us that. It doesn't get us sets. It doesn't get us costumes. It doesn't get us props. It doesn't get us a fancy table. But hey, Hollow Turtle, welcome on in. But it gets the show made. And honestly, I just need this idea out. And this is basically, I'm calling this sort of season 0. So this is sort of getting these things in place so that when we move forward, we can build this into a bigger and better thing. So after we get $6,500, and we're trying to get $6,500. So our deadline is August 15th to raise that amount of money. We have currently planned to shoot the show the weekend of August 23rd. And if we don't have the money by August 15th, it's not happening. Simple as that. And I won't say it won't happen ever. I'm just saying it won't happen until we can get that money. And with scheduling, basically that could mean November, December, it could mean 2026. I'm not sure, but it won't happen as soon as, we can, because basically everybody's open right now in August to do this. So we're really trying to push this to get it done ASAP. Innocent Artificer, thank you so much. That another Voyager tier. I'm really thankful for that. Thank you. Guess I'm Salad. Very distracted. How much and where's the direct donate? So there you go. BSB Care just posted it in the chat. It's on our fourth wall page. If you go to our website, savingthrowshow.com, you will see a link to the Outpost at the top, and that will take you to our fourth wall, and everything is there. Merch, one-time donations, and our membership tiers are all there. And it should be pretty easy and straightforward. Let me know if you have questions on that, though. But you can see also what we're trying to raise and what that means. So if we can get more money, and I've listed this out on the page, but I'll hopefully be able to add video editors, podcast editors, audio editors. We'll get a set built. We have a really cool idea for the set. Really simple, but I think really evocative. Get people in costumes, get an intro made. Get music, get a theme song, basically. Those are all things that I want to be able to do. It's a lot of money to build up to that point, but the hope with the sustaining backers using Fourth Wall is that we can get to that point. We can build month upon month upon month. So this isn't like Kickstarter where it's like you do it all in 30 days or nothing. It's the hope is to rebuild this so that the channel can grow again, and we can make awesome content, basically. I have many ideas to do beyond Hellbent, but really I want to focus on one show. With Saving Throw in the past, we were doing so many different shows. It was hard to manage all of that stuff. And all of the shows kind of suffered because none of them were getting sort of the direct attention that they all needed, really. And that I did not like that. I really hated that aspect of things. And I was doing it and trying to pay myself, and that's not necessarily the case right now. really trying to you make this work for the show. So this is all about the show. So Saving Throw is the channel, but the show is Hellbent, and that's what we're sort of focusing on. Yeah, you said it, PSP Care. It's a recipe for burning everyone out, and that's not good for anyone. It really isn't. Yeah, hopefully this will not be the case. But yeah, if we can keep growing those coffers and get people coming in to support the show, we can really do a lot of things. We can do those talkback episodes. We can do more things related to Hellbent. I have some really great ideas, but I'm not gonna spoil anything yet. I've probably talked about them before on previous proficiency checks, so maybe go back and watch. But I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I have big plans for this show, but it can only happen with your help if we can raise the money to get to that point. So I appreciate those of you who have backed. Like I said, you don't have to become a sustaining backer. You can give a one-time donation, $5, $10, whatever you want to do. Just do it once and call it done. And that's awesome. If you're already a Twitch subscriber, I will say there is a tip jar level. If you're a Twitch subscriber, it's basically free. It's about $1 a month, but your first month is free. And you get discounts. If you're a Twitch subscriber, you get discounts. So I will say, if you're already on Twitch, you do get discounts to be a member in the Exploration Society. But if you're like, I only have like $1 maybe a month, if you're already a Twitch subscriber, that's only 95 cents that you have to give up for the Exploration Society because you have a Twitch discount, a 5% Twitch discount. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's another thing. You also get discounts on merch when you are an Exploration Society member. And yeah, you can get the famous mugs that we have. You can also get Exploration Society t-shirts. And Fourth Wall has been really great in setting all of this stuff up. They allow us to do a lot of different things and create some really cool merchandise. So I hope you can check it out and consider that. But yeah, there's multiple ways for you to give. It doesn't have to be a sustaining backer, but if you have it in you to participate that way, it's most welcome. But one-time donations, that's great. Or buying merch, that's awesome. Even subbing on Twitch is great. But yeah, I do encourage you to sub on the Outpost website through Fourth Wall. So yeah, so let's see. So that's basically it. I hope that is exciting and that you're interested and that you want to know more, because there will definitely be more of these little chats with you. I hope at some point I'll be able to have Jasmine on and we can talk a little bit about these things and kind of where she's planning on taking the show. Honestly, everything is like just sort of rolling now. It's weird because I've been working on this show for like 3 years now, but it's really just now starting to pick up steam. So there's a lot of stuff. People are like, wait, that's happening. It's like, yeah. It's going now. So patience, but also we really got to get this done. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very excited about where this is headed and where we're going. Yeah, I really hope that you can join us on this. So, with that, I kind of want to turn it over to you if you've got questions about the show. I can try and answer what I can, or questions about anything else. Oh, I will say, while you're thinking of that stuff, I will say, you heard me mention the Wildcards Carnival podcast. So I am re-editing those. I am now almost halfway through the season with edits for that. I have I have been ruthless in my cuts, and trimmed out a lot of the fat, and now it's just the good juicy stuff from the show, and I'm really excited. If you are a backing member, the very first episode has been released to you already, and those have been cut down, audio kind of remastered, and it's been cut down, and so it's only like an hour and a half. Basically, I cut every episode into two, which makes it an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours per episode, but way more digestible. And yeah, so that's that. This is Carnival. Yeah, indeed. Hollow Turtle, thank you so much. Thanks for backing at that Voyager tier. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been, I will say it's been a while, Jordan, going back and rewatching Carnival. And, you know, it's made me want to go back and kind of redo all of them, but who has the time? There's only 12 episodes of Carnival, so I know I can get through those, but it is really fascinating to rewatch. Yeah, we had so many things that we didn't really release. Well, you might have, I think, because I almost died because of mine. Well, no, we didn't actually. No, I don't think we ever did. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff there. There was a lot of stuff that we all had, that we had built, that never got released. So yeah. So in Carnival, we are not cutting out dice rolls. In Hellbent, I don't think we're going to cut out dice rolls. To me, rolling dice is part and parcel with a role-playing game. And I want the role-playing game aspect to be present and in front, even though I want people who are not role-playing game aficionados to be into the show. I do want them to see kind of how it works. I want to peel back that curtain and see it. Otherwise, it's a radio play. Because I could cut everything out and it's just dialogue and exposition, but that's not what an actual play is. That's not what a role-playing game is. So part of it is having that element of character sheets, of dice rolling, of mechanics that help. Artemis, thank you so much for joining at Scout tier. Appreciate it. I feel very much so twitchy right now with sorry if I missed you, if it's come up. I can only see it when it pops up really quickly. I am sorry if I have missed you backing, but I appreciate everybody who has supported so far. But it does feel very Twitch to like have a conversation and then go back. My ADHD is not being helped right now. But anyway, yeah, I am a huge fan of doing the role playing game, of the game aspects of role playing. Yeah, exactly what DJ Regular said. Of all the aspects of role-playing games, that's the one that people probably know, is that you roll dice. And the whole conceit is that the decisions that are being made because of a dice roll. And I think that's really important to feel that. And if you've watched Savage Worlds, you know that the dice rolls can be epic. Savage Worlds is, I think one of the best, and I've said this multiple times, but I think it's one of the best games for an actual play. It is, whether Shane and Clint and everybody realized it when they were building it, I don't know. Probably not. But the mechanics are really conducive to making a show out of them. Having a crit fail, having exploding dice, those are two big dice mechanics that make for epic storytelling. And So yeah, definitely not going to cut those out. I want to have those in there because if we cut out the dice rolling, Megan's epic roll in ETU in the thing in the corner, you wouldn't happen. You would not, you would see the end result, but you would not be like, oh my god, she's got to roll. She's got to roll. You know, it's got to explode. It's got to happen. Um, you just wouldn't have gotten. There would be no build up to it. You know. So yes, dice rolling will definitely still be in there. The podcast may cut out, you know, the spaces and stuff in between while we are reading the dice or whatever. So yeah, podcast not so much, but you know, I do want to be very clear that yeah, that stuff is going to be there and it's going to be an integral part of the storytelling experience. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, Carnival it will be coming out soon as a podcast, but if you're a backer, you're going to get all the episodes before everybody else, like way before everybody else. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm going to start releasing the first 5 episodes to backers here in the next probably next week or so. So there you go. Yeah. If you've got any questions, I am happy to answer those questions. Oh, and again, while you're thinking of those questions, after I finish Wildcards, I am going to go back and edit the final season of New Pantheon Academia, which I realized never made it to podcast form. I think because I lost an episode somewhere and it was not on my system, but I believe I have found everything now. I have gone through an epic hunt, and I found an old hard drive, and I think it's got everything on it that I need. So I am going to sit back and edit those as well. Those probably won't be, because the reason I could do Carnival so quickly is because Carnival, like I said, we had sort of designed the show so that everything was front loaded or end loaded, basically all the toasts, all the unlocks, all of that stuff. So those things were much easier to cut. I'm really cutting the intro stuff, like you're still getting the questions and all of those things, but a lot of the things where we are talking about, you know, how to donate and all that stuff is cut. With New Pantheon, that stuff is a lot harder to cut without it sounding really weird. so Pantheon is probably going to be more of a, you know, straight edit out the gate, but that's what it's going to be. DJ Who, Critical Failures, super fun. Really, I mean, again, Savage Worlds, it just is sort of a magical system for this type of storytelling. To me personally, I think it's way more easier to grok than D&D is. I totally get that D&D is the word, and that people who don't know what RPGs are believe that RPGs are D&D, and I understand that. But when you start sliding a Dungeons and Dragons player's handbook in front of somebody, it starts getting esoteric fast. I remember I tried to watch something. So my wife is not into role-playing games or anything like that. And I was trying to get her to watch an actual play, which we don't do. I don't normally do. I don't watch a ton of actual plays, but this had some friends in it and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, let's check it out. Let's watch it. And I was told that this show was done in a style that was meant to be good for newcomers. And the first episode I watched, this person started talking about how their rogue was doing these things with a dragon, and they were talking about all this stuff, and it was just like, what's a rogue? Like, I know someone can be a rogue, but I don't know what is a rogue. Like, you're using that noun in a weird way, you know. And my wife was like, I'm gone, I'm out. And it ruined everything, because yeah, we've been playing these games for a long time. It totally, like, those types of things. LT, thank you so much. Oh, awesome, you got a coffee mug, very cool. A Wildcards ETU coffee mug, that's awesome. um I won't call everyone out. I'm sorry. I'm just excited to see this stuff. If you've been afraid because you're like, oh, I'm going to call it, I won't call it out. I won't call it out unless you tell me to. If you tell me to, I'll call it out. But yeah, D&D is just so, I mean, the great thing about like Dimension 20 when you're watching it is they're so good at embodying a character that you don't care about any of the mechanics. And I think that's really cool, but also it's sort of a detriment. Like, D&D cannot exist. You don't need D&D anymore because you're not using anything from the game. At, you know, like, it is a somewhat of a construct, and you are using some of those tools, but it is so much padded down and away, because they know the more they introduce D&D, the more you're going to lose an audience. And honestly, the biggest D&D audience is Critical Role. It always is, and probably always will be. And that's, you know, that audience is tuned in. They know what they want. This isn't to say that I don't like D&D. You can see it, yeah, right over there. I've got almost every player's handbook from every edition, and then, yeah, multiple things from 5e. Fiend Folio I've got back there. I like D&D. I really do. But it's been great. But I've been playing it for 40 years. Literally 40 years, which is super wild. And so I know it very well. I grew up with it. But so many people, I don't think people who are in RPGs quite realize there's a lot of pushback from people who are into RPGs, and they go like, Critical Role ruined RPGs or whatever. And it's just sit down, you know. Play your game. No one is ruining anything for you. Do what you need to do. But yes, it is part of the zeitgeist. It is now not relegated to the back closet of a nerd's room. It is now front and center, and it is regarded in the same way anime is regarded, or you know, I don't know, Battlestar Galactica or something, you know, other Star Wars, comic books. It is on that level now, which it wasn't for the first 40 years of its life. And that's a huge thing. And so people know that RPGs are a thing. But like I said, I do think that D&D is not a good introduction to RPGs. It is the gold standard. It is the world's best RPG or whatever they call it. However, I don't think it is really good. Yeah, DJ Regular, you said it before. It is culturally tied to the concept of RPGs, that it's seen as a beginner's RPG. There are so many other games that are good at bringing people in, that don't overload you with terminology that you don't know. I wouldn't even say Savage Worlds is a game that I would necessarily give to somebody who has never played a role-playing game before. There's kind of a lot into that. And certainly making content playing a game is way different, and you probably all know this, but it's way different than playing at a table with people. you're way more concerned with the role play and with telling a story when you are doing a show than you are at a table with your friends. There's some story, but usually people relegate that to the GM just making things happen when you need it to. Something with Hellbent is it's going to be very proactive. I hope that's the goal, and that everybody's going to have a goal. Everybody's going to have a character and an arc for that character and connections to the other characters and to the world around them. It's not just wandering murder hobos hoping that someone gives them gold coin to, clean out something. That might be an episode. I don't know, but it's not the show. So yes, I think Savage Worlds really balances that line between mechanical and role play. And I'm fond of saying that it's mechanized role play, and that with the hindrances and the edges and things, it gives you things to play that give you mechanical benefits. And if you have ever played a board game, you know that, oh, I've got this card, and this card says I can do this. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's a mechanized benefit. Now, what if I tell you, that card says you have to say it in a certain way? Okay, well, now you are role-playing, right? And now you've got a mechanized benefit that is giving you a role-play cue. That's what Savage Worlds is, I feel. And so that's why I feel like it's perfect for something like an actual play. But, yeah, I would... Powered by the Apocalypse is a very popular system for getting people right into an RPG. I think it's a great system. I don't think it's great for actual plays, but I do think it's a really good system. Fate is another one, I think. Yeah, there's a ton. There's a ton. Forged in the Dark, Blades in the Dark, any of the Forged in the Dark ones, I think are really good. That's honestly a really close contender to do an actual play with a Forged in the Dark system. But I really like Savage Worlds, so that's what we're going to do. There's just so many cinematic elements to it too. Again, the dice rolling is super cinematic. Getting multiple exploding dice is so cool. Getting a critical failure is so cool. It's stuff you can see. It's visceral. You can feel it. Yeah, that's just the sort of stuff that I've been thinking about since the last saving throw, basically. Really, since I moved out of California, was how to get that visceral feeling. And COVID really kind of put a huge damper on that. And I've talked about that before, but it really made things really difficult. So yeah, I am really looking forward to having a show that really showcases that and gets people kind of talking about it. And I want this to be a show that, again, people who are not into RPGs can gather around the water cooler. People still do that? Is that a thing? Do you have water coolers in your office? I don't know. People can gather around it. And hey, Scott Woodard, how's it going? Over on YouTube. Yeah, they can. I forget where I was going with this, but it was really important. And yeah, I just feel that Savage Worlds is the best tool. And like I said, for new people who are not RPG fans, I think that having a show that people can gather around the water cooler. That's right. People can gather around the water cooler and talk about it, in a way that they don't have to go, oh, well, he's playing a huckster, and so the huckster can do this and that and the other thing. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, actual plays, role-playing games are kind of like sports in that regard. I'm a baseball fan. Don't ask me to quote a stat. I won't. I can't. But I do enjoy watching baseball. But there are people who do love stats, who do love pulling these things out and going like, okay, well, this pitcher against this batter, that's a matchup because this batter always hits this and this pitcher always throws this, and you can start going all day, and you can do that with an RPG as well. And I think that that's a component for sure that I think people will latch onto, and I think Savage Worlds allows us again to have the mechanics and have it be front and center without it taking over the show and making people go, I'm completely lost because you just added all of these things together and I don't know. I don't know how that works. So yeah, that's I think a big thing. Shadow Wow, thank you for following. Ronnie, hey, nice to see you over on YouTube. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Thanks for reposting that. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, you're not seeing this, but there is a link to the Saving Throw Show store, store.savingthrowshow.com. It's our fourth wall page, basically. And this is how we are raising money to make Hellbent. This is just a recap for anybody just joining us. Hellbent is a new show that I am working on. GM is Jasmine Bhullar, who is known for Critical Role and Desi Quest and Dimension 20 and so many other things, and Acquisitions Incorporated, all these things. So very excited to have her on board as a GM. So many cool, really great people behind the scenes that are working on this. And we are going into casting on Sunday. And hopefully we can release more info. But this will be an in-person show set in the Weird West using Savage Worlds. And the only way to support it is to go onto our store and you can buy merch. You can do a one-time donation. You can buy a sustaining membership and keep us going well beyond this. But we are trying to raise $6,500 right now. And we're about 20% of the way there. Probably a little bit more after some folks have subbed up today. But we're about 20% of the way to that goal. So we're a pretty good chunk. But like I said, if we can't get to that point by August 15th, well, the show is going to be postponed. We are currently planning to shoot the show on August 23rd and 24th. It's going to be pre-recorded, but I hope that there will be a live stream for people who are backers to basically watch. There will be no I'll be perfectly honest. There will be no interaction with live viewers. It won't be broadcast on Twitch. It will only be for backers, but you will be able to watch it warts and all live if you want to, but only if you're a backer. Otherwise it will be edited and it will be turned around as quick as you like, and we're going to broadcast it on Twitch. And at that point, you can donate, and we're going to split proceeds with the cast and crew at that point, and from anything we raise when the show airs. And so that's another cool sort of thing that we're trying to do. But yeah, the goal with the $6,500 is to get us a space to shoot this in, pay the cast and crew kind of just a hey, thanks for doing this wage, and allow us to get some equipment, rent a few things that will allow us to put this all together. And yeah, if we raise more than $6,500, well, there's things that we can unlock that will add more to this endeavor. Hopefully get us to a season 2, and with a lot of cool new things. We'd love to do costumes and a new set and all of that stuff, but it's going to take a little bit to get there. So store.savingthrowshow.com. That will get you to that page, and what you want to do from there is up to you. Yeah. 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 John Doom says it's better if it's not live interactive. Otherwise, I would spend the entire time trying to sow chaos and corpse the players. Yeah. There will be opportunities. Again, we're going to have to work this out, Jasmine and stuff. We're going to say so. We're going to work out how interactions will necessarily take place, but Banes and Boons will definitely be a thing. Dark Dreamer said, so I know you said you're going to be going with your own lore from Deadlands, but we'll be using and or borrowing some of Deadlands Weird West rules. Absolutely. Yes. Bondo, thank you. I know I said I wouldn't thank anybody anymore, but I had to do that. Anyway, thanks, Bondo. So yes, we are definitely going to be using Deadlands rules. The rule set is there, but yeah, like I said, we're going to be staying away from Deadlands specific lore. So there's no Reckoners, there's no Ghost Rock, that sort of thing. Stone doesn't exist in this world, but we may rename a couple of things just so that there's a clear distinction. But a lot of those things, yeah, there will be hucksters, there will be witches, there will be all the kind of nasties. There will probably be new monsters and things like that, but some familiar faces in that regard. But yeah, this is not going to be if you're not familiar with Deadlands or the lore around Deadlands, that's perfectly great. You don't need it. Yeah. Hey, Variel, welcome. It's good to see you again. Yeah. I tried to time this because I knew some people were going to be coming off of work, and then East Coast and stuff like that were probably going to be coming in, but yeah. Yeah. What else? Other questions that I can hopefully answer about Hellbent or anything else Saving Throw. Be happy to answer those in the next 15 or so minutes. But really, thank you all so much for popping on and joining me for this announcement. I've been sitting on my hands just dying to announce things, and I'm trying to be better about announcing things before they're super solidified. So yeah, hopefully I haven't jinxed anything with this yet, but I am super excited about this show, and I can't wait to share more about it with you. I do hope we'll go into some lore deep dives on future episodes, and because I can't wait to share kind of this world with you and kind of what we've been putting together. Angst asks, will I be making any guest player appearances on Hellbent or anything else? Not at present. No. I'm not going to rule it out, but it is, like I said, my plan is this is Jasmine's show. Once the show starts recording, it's Jasmine's show. So if it comes to that, maybe. I do have ideas of having people play NPCs, not me necessarily, but other people. So maybe if we get some NPCs that kind of make the cut, we might have special guests come in and do that. That's another budget thing, honestly. Like there's a lot of people who are in LA or elsewhere that want to be involved, but because they don't live here, they can't have a regular role. But we would love to be able to fly them up and treat them right and get them into the studio for a game. But that's well beyond our $6,500 base budget right now. So yeah, anything you can do to help, definitely adds that stuff to future shows. But yeah, me in particular, no, probably not. Certainly not this first season. Blind Seer, hello, welcome on in. Yeah, but good question though. I do want to somehow make it back onto a show, but Hellbent may not be it. Not right now, anyway. There's enough people who look like me and on actual play shows. You don't need me. I'm not that special. Um, yes, I'm very excited to be doing another show. And yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's hard to contain my excitement, just because I spend so much time working on this, and I have spent so much time working on this show that I've just been a ball of like, "Ugh, I want to tell people about it." Dark Dreamer asks, will there still be weird new science powered by magic or something other than Ghost Rock? Yeah, 100%. There is going to be weird science, and yes, it will be powered by magic rather than Ghost Rock. So yeah, that honestly brings in of uh, a lot of interesting things, things that even Ghost Rock couldn't do. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what happens with that. But yeah, there's going to be all sorts of stuff like that. I can't say specifically what will happen in the show. The characters have not been created yet because we don't have a cast yet. So I can't say if there will be anybody playing a mad scientist or anything along those lines. But there's a good chance. There's a good chance of that. What is your preferred platform of support at this point? Yeah. I don't know if it didn't look like it ticked off, but Fourth Wall is what we are using. You can if you're on Twitch, you can hit !FW, type that into chat, and it will give you the link. Otherwise, just go to store.savingthrowshow.com. That will take you to our Exploration Society outpost, where you can do one-time donations. You can buy merch. You can do sustaining memberships, tiered memberships. All of those things go into helping fund this project. I recommend doing a backing at a sustainer level. We have a number of different tiers. We even have a $1 tier for folks that just want to sort of be involved somehow. But yeah, that's there. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to jump in for that, but sustaining backers are going to get the most out of everything. They're going to see things first. They're going to be part of all that stuff. Character creation, we're going to be recording that so that people can see that. And again, it will be backers only for a while. So if you want to get in on that, become a sustaining backer. Yeah. Yes, the Legion of Dom is currently a 6-member legion. So there are 4 people in in the Legion right now, but it is the highest level. Yeah, don't overcommit yourself, guys. There's so much going on in the world right now, and it is wild to me to be pitching a show to you all right now with so many things uncertain. This show is, I will say, this show is really special to me because it is one thing I can do to take art and yeah, I do think that this is art, but to take it to speak to other things. I'm not saying this is going to be an overly political show. If that's what you make of it, that's what you make of it. That's not the point. The point is to have a really fun show. However, there are certainly some aspects to it that are sort of taken on a new light since things have happened in this world. And so yeah, it's a way to kind of explore that in a new way and in an interesting way, that's not so heavy every time that that we're talking about life right now. So yeah, it's kind of a fun exercise and a way to escape things a little bit. But yeah, don't overcommit yourself. There's so much else going on right now. Do what you got to do. But I do appreciate those of you who are able to commit to this. DJ Who asks, will the show be available to watch or listen? That's an excellent question. And Xenar Faith, thanks for resubbing for 85 months. Oh my God, 85 months. Holy crap. What is that? 7 years, something like that? A little over 8 years. Anyway, thank you. That means a lot. Yes, this show basically, so we are recording the show. It won't be initially made live. When we do show it on Twitch, it will be a hybrid live pre-recorded show. And then it will be cut down again into episodes for YouTube and podcast. And it will be designed, it's going to be recorded in a way, at least that's my hope. Obviously, that's what the budget is for. The hope is to have individual tracks for every individual audio tracks for every player, and so that we can really fine tune the audio for podcast. Dragon Feathers, thank you so much. Thanks for backing. I appreciate that. Yes, and multiple cameras. It's going to be a multicam show. It's not going to be the layout is probably not going to be exactly like, your bog standard Critical Role layout where you've got the rows and stuff like that. I hope to make it a little bit more cinematic. Go back and watch Barky's Brigade. That was kind of the initial look of the channel, which was a live cut look. We had to do it that way. That was the limitation of the equipment we had. But I liked that more because it was immediate, and I could take you as the switcher. I could take you to the moment that I wanted you to see. And this show will be more like that. And yeah, I think Dimension 20 does this too. I think they play with things, so it's going to have some similar looks. Probably it's going to be a little closer to Dimension 20 in final look, but yeah, so you will be able to watch it all. Shadow Wow, you're going to film character creation. Would you ever consider filming some GM prep and releasing it after the show for people who want to try GMing Suede? I think that is a great idea. That's honestly, it's up to Jasmine. It may be that she wants to do that. If so, it would be on her channel, That Bronze Girl. We might be able to do it on Saving and Throw. I want to give her the flexibility of doing it wherever she wants to do it, if she wants to do it at all. But yes, there will be more. My hope is that we can raise enough money to have a secondary show, which is basically, it could potentially just be a podcast, but it could be a video show too, where we dive into the thought processes behind the GM's moves and what the players did and other things, so that there's a conversation of how the game was played and what we kind of used from Savage Worlds to hopefully make that clearer for people who want to try it. I mean, my deepest desire is that people who are not familiar with Suede, that's the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, people who are not familiar with it will be able to watch and get a good feel for it, because we're going to have the pop-ups that will come up explaining rule things that I feel need explanation. And because of my ADHD and other things, almost everything I feel needs explanation. So I'm going to try not to over-explain anything. But there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of kind of hand-holding for people who are new to it, that I don't think it's going to get the game is going to play regardless. I don't think it's going to get, we're not going to stop the game and the GM is going to go like, okay, what I'm doing here is, that's not going to happen. The game is going to be a game, but the pop-ups allow us to sort of talk about things as a meta. And hopefully, yeah, if we can raise enough money, this is well beyond the 6,500 goal. But if we do get past that and we get upwards, hopefully we can launch a secondary show that does more of that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this was a question, but I will say yes. My hope is that we will have a lot of the tools that Savage Worlds has, and we'll be able to show those off. So things like quick encounters and dramatic tasks and things like that, we'll be able to show, because again, those are super cinematic. I mean, the Savage Worlds was built to be a cinematic game. It was meant to feel like you were in a movie. And obviously when you get to things like combat in any sort of RPG setting, the combat gets to be a slog. I feel that Savage Worlds handles combat, for as mechanically heavy as it may be, I feel that it handles it in a very cinematic way. It's constantly changing, always in flux, always new things. In D&D, it's just attrition based. Who has the most hit points? Okay, you hit again for another 50 points of damage. You've only got one hit point, but somehow you're still able to do that. In Savage Worlds, it's way more dynamic, it's way more deadly, and it's way more visceral and real. So a lot of these things like dramatic tasks and quick encounters and stuff are I think, really handy for a GM's toolkit, but also for an actual play to really amp up the cinematic nature of a role-playing game, without sacrificing the core mechanics of the game. So yeah, I really like that. Thank you, Xenar Faith. I appreciate it. We'll see you later. Yeah, pop-up action play. Exactly. That's what it is. Yeah, DJ Regular. Yeah, again, great point. Once Savage Worlds starts going, it really... It just rolls. Like the action comes and the role play comes, and it takes a certain player, I feel like, someone who is committed to the RP and committed to knowing the mechanics. And it's hard because a lot of people are one or the other, and that's great, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like Savage Worlds really complements people who are able to ride both of those, and get it out there. So yeah. Let's see. We've got a couple more minutes before I will die of heat exhaustion in this place. I wore my shirt that doesn't show sweat stains, which is which is great. So you can't tell how heavily I'm sweating up here, but it's not fun. But yeah, just a couple more minutes. I'm happy to answer. Yeah. I don't know. There isn't a category for watching me pass out. I think honestly, Twitch will probably ban me if I actually actively pass out on stream. So I'm gonna try not to do that. But yeah. Oh, no, I lived in Arizona. I know. Yep, I was born in Phoenix. I know very well. Yeah, it's only AI, Dom. Don't worry about it. Any other questions? Anything else I can help you with, go over with? What I hope you can do, what I hope I've made clear is that this show is designed for people to watch and listen to, and it's designed for people hopefully that are not into RPGs to to watch and listen to and enjoy. So I hope that you can share it with your friends once it gets out there in the wild. If you can support, please, please do whatever you can. Go to store.savingthrowshow.com. That's our fourth wall site. Again, you can do one-time donations. You can do a sustaining backer like Variel just did. Thank you so much. You can also just buy merch, which also goes into the fund. So everything that you do on Fourth Wall goes right into the fund to make Hellbent a reality. Again, we're trying to raise $6,500 by August 15th. That is our goal. You're going to see a lot more stuff coming out of me on Instagram and Blue Sky. So follow me there. The Hellbent Blue Sky is just getting rolling. I haven't posted anything there yet, but I'll let you know when it's up and running for sure. There is no Twitter. There is no Facebook. In fact, I don't even have control over the Saving Throw Facebook page anymore. So I don't know. If anything's getting posted there, it's not from me. So I'm sorry. I can't even like delete it. I have no admin control whatsoever. So sorry about that. But yeah, Facebook is dead to me. That's it. A long time ago, I posted something for Casting DJ who's asking about casting. I posted a thing about casting. We are casting locally to Seattle. I posted a long time ago, and a lot of people signed up. And we are having in-person casting this weekend. And we may have another casting session. I'm not sure. We'll see what we get this weekend. But yeah, that's what's happening. So casting is for an actual play is really interesting. Obviously, with Saving Throw, we had years of experience kind of playing with people. I put together the Barkeys Brigade crew. Like that was the first crew that I put together like a super group. From there, they told their friends and they said, "Oh, can this person play? And can what if we had this person come in?" And then it became like, yeah, okay, and we just would get shows kind of put together from friend groups and all of that, and so that was great, and that created a lot of great content. A lot of those people are still in LA, and honestly, I wanted sort of fresh air basically for this show. So everybody who is auditioning, 99% of them I've never met before. There is one person I have met before that is auditioning, but has never been on Saving Throw before. So it's all kind of new. There are going to be new faces. Jasmine is probably the only person that anybody will likely recognize, unless you're involved in film and theater things in Seattle. Then you might recognize some of these people. But yeah, that's what we're doing. And like I said, the plan is to make this a representative table. Yeah, it's the goal is to not have 5 people who look like me sitting around a table. I that's fine. It works for some people, and that's okay. But especially in this telling the tale of the Weird West, where there's so many people involved, and cowboys were literally the minority out there. So yeah, despite what Yellowstone would teach you, things were a lot different back then. I make no bones that this is going to be a historical retelling of the Old West. It is definitely not that, but I think we're going to be a little bit more faithful to the cultures and other things that were around back then, and still exist now. So that's casting. Maybe TMI, I don't know, but casting is important to me. So okay, well, we have reached my time limit. The temperature gauge is reading. It is 90.5 right now in my office. So I am going to shut this off and turn that AC unit back on so that I can hopefully bring it down to 89. and work the rest of the night up here. But thank you all so much for joining me on this announcement video. I am beyond excited to get to share this with you and have you on board. Tell your friends, get people following the channel. If people want to see more of this, send them to the fourth wall. There's a whole description of the show, what we're going for, what we're aiming for, what we're trying to raise. All of it is there. So if you send people to store.savingthrowshow.com, they will see it. If they go to savingthrowshow.com, there's a bunch of stuff there. I've redone the whole website, so there's a better podcast listing, all of the shows that we have on podcast. They should be up and working all great. So if you've been worried about that, they're all there. There's some a great show listing and also some Hellbent stuff as well. So yeah, I'm really stoked to be able to present this to you, and yeah, hopefully we make our goal $6,500 by August 15th. It's a lot to get to. Like I said, we're about 20% of the way there. That's a good percentage to be in. If we can get 20% every week from now until August 15th, we're going to be golden. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. And I will see you soon on the next one of these. So until then, take care. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, everybody.